Okay, we're recording.
All right, guys, welcome to our jackpot training call tonight. We are really excited to get to talk to you tonight about the Spotlight Memory Jogger. And we really thought we wouldn't do it any better justice than getting to hear from the creators themselves that, kind of shared this with all of us over this last year. And that is Jake and Jenna Rude. They are a really kind of high power couple in terms of millennials from out in California. And we just love the memory jogger that they have adopted and shared with us. And for my team personally, we've been using this now for a few months and really, really enjoy it. We're going to actually watch a portion of the training that is on missiondrivenmodel.info. It's under building your customer base, and then you go to memory jogger, and it's that training there that says Spotlight Memory Jogger. I'm going to have Karen share her screen with that video. We're going to just cut out the first 2 minutes of the introduction, and then we're going to cut off the last bit where they go through some of the scripts. So if you want to catch those parts, you can definitely go back and rewatch that. But otherwise, you just kind of wanted to give you the meat and potatoes around the memory jogger itself. And, this is where it all starts. Just like Christine Averill teaches us, everything starts with our list. And anytime we get somebody new started, we want to help them to start creating their list right away. And especially as we get to that VF level, our memory jogger really becomes important to continue that working list in terms of helping us to remember who to follow up with, who to circle back around to, because as Brandy just shared with us, no isn't necessarily a no forever. It's just that they don't know what they don't know yet. And it's always important to continue those follow-ups. So without further ado, Karen, if you want to go ahead and start it at the 2-minute mark, then we can go ahead and dive into this training. And we'll touch base after it wraps up as well. Karen, we can see the screen, but I'm not sure that we can hear the content.
First, as a new team member, you think, oh my gosh, I can write this person's name down to call my stubborn Uncle Steve right now and tell them about Juice Plus, and that would terrify me, and it would just not be a good thing for anybody involved, and you get scared, so you hold back a little bit. And then it's just, I think, really about how can we really support you as you're getting started or restarted in this business, and really make sure that once you have that list and you're thinking about it in the way we're going to teach you tonight, then what do you do with it from there, and how do you really bring that to life? So step number 1 is to generate a list of names, and on missiondrivenmodel.info you have this amazing resource that helps you think of all the different kinds of people that you might know. So make sure you check that out. It's very helpful if you're sitting there going, I don't really know that many people, but you know a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that many people, but now I do. Now I do, because you get out and you talk to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the rules when you're making this list are that you do not have to pick up the phone and immediately call them. You don't have to call every name you put down, and there's no prejudging allowed. So if you think, this person in my life would never want Juice Plus or would never, go for this at all, I'm just going to ignore them, I promise you, people will surprise you.
It's not your job to make that decision. Let them make that decision for themselves.
Yeah, not about you. Not about you. Not about us. It's about the people we're going to help.
So I was out of people. What do you have to do? Just get out of the house. Literally, leave your house and go walk around the block.
Walk out of your house.
Go meet people. Networking events, social events. Find them just, in the town hall or whatever. They're like people
the town
hall. Yeah, there's people that like post stuff like this. No
one goes to the town hall.
Anyway, just find the networking events. But like workout classes are fantastic tools because there are people that are either trying to get healthy or are already healthy, and they would love to talk about health. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've met more people complimenting their yoga pants than anything else. Seriously. And I really like their pants and I compliment them on it, but it just starts up a conversation.
She has a lot of yoga pants, so that's a very great compliment. Meetup is a fantastic tool. There's tons of people out there looking to meet other people. And then social media groups, if you don't have one that is like responding to you, create one. It's a great tool. And that's how we met Kayla. So Kayla, long story short, basically, we had a Charlotte distributor that was in her house because she was about to give birth to her baby. And she was like, okay, I want to grow a business. So we told her to message 100 people on social media. And that led her to message a food blogger that lived in San Diego. The girl was 16 years old, couldn't get a franchise, obviously, but still talked to her, invite her to her event because we'd love to get to know her, create the community. She invited her tennis coach, and that is her tennis coach's wife. So from Charlotte to San Diego, to tennis coach's wife, and now she's a qualified BF. She's an unbelievable person, now a civilian, a veteran. She was a naval officer and a pilot. Like she's awesome.
So you meet really cool people if you just reach out. You never know what's going to happen. And sometimes you can get overwhelmed by thinking about like what that looks like, or what the steps we had to go through to get to meet Kayla.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, but it just happens if you do that. What else?
Pick up business cards on those cork boards in public places, the town hall. Like those are literally people that are asking you to call them. Like they put their card there for a reason. Please contact me. And then use the word collaboration. Love that.
They'll be so excited, honestly, when you give them a call. They'll be like, "What? You found my card?"
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
Health conscious places, Lyft, Uber, driving or riding. Great place to meet people. You're sitting in the car for 45 minutes to start talking to them, and then create a brand or draw people in. The Healthy Living Revolution is an unbelievable brand if you don't already have a brand already. So just like the company is making it for you. Say, I'm an ambassador for the Healthy Living Revolution. What is that?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. Just it creates that conversation.
So it's simple. You don't have to, be the next big star on Fitness Network or something to really find new people and attract new people. But it really is about attraction. Mm-hmm. And so don't think about this as I'm going out to recruit people. You're going out, you're living your life, and you're putting out the energy that is going to be attractive to other people. And you also want to think about who do I want to attract and where do those people hang out? Where can I go to find them? So step number 2 of this is that you're going to add all of those people that you're writing down on a list to your Stoplight System memory jogger. And Julie's going to share with you at the very end how you find that. We're going to give that to all of you guys today. And what's great about this is that we're going to be focusing only on relationships. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to categorize each person on your list by a color: green, yellow, or red. Green is close friends and family, people who know your name, you know them, some, connections, some, stuff about them. And you could have a conversation with them. You could pick up the phone right now, give them a call, and it wouldn't be weird. So what's an example of close green relationships?
Best man at my wedding, Matthew.
Perfect. Okay. Yellow relationships are people who are in your network and know your name, but you wouldn't necessarily call or text them. Example?
My hair lady, Epson.
Okay, perfect.
That's my hair.
So they know each other's name, but if Jake randomly called Epson and invited her to an event, it'd probably be pretty weird, right? So I think it's more of the coworkers, your yoga teacher that you have seen and she knows your name, but you're not really on that level yet. Those are your yellow relationships. Your red relationships, pretty much it's the last time you talked to them, you were 5 years old, kindergarten or something. Or there's strangers that you follow on social media, people that you idolize and you think, oh my gosh, they would be amazing as part of this company. I wish I could talk to them one day. Just people that feel a little out of reach because you have no relationship with them at first. So those are your red relationships. What's an example of that? Batman. Oh, really?
He has a lot of information. He gets hit all the time.
Okay, so Batman. Batman is a red relationship.
He's the man.
Okay. You're also going to put a star next to the people who need Juice Plus the most. So not just Juice Plus as a product, but Juice Plus as a business, as a community, as a mission, as a culture. The word Juice Plus to me means so many different things in our life, and that goes back to the Juice Plus experience, right? We can give people so many different types of experiences. So you're gonna put a star next to, Uncle Steve who's sick all the time, or a mom that who's really struggling to pay, rent every month, and that she's really in need of some money. Okay, so if you were looking at your memory jogger from what you guys know so far, who are you going to reach out to first?
The green ones with a star.
Oh, so good.
I listened.
I didn't prep it with that question.
No, she didn't. She dropped the ball.
So green stars. So you'll know, those are the people we've got to find first, because they're the ones that are going to have the strongest story. As you can get them on Juice Plus, that they're going to have an experience right from the beginning. So let's give them that first. Let's not leave them hanging for another couple months while you make your way through that list. Go straight to the green stars, and you'll already be ready to reach out to them. So here's an example of just a couple different. This is what we use when we're talking to a group in person. But Joe Plus is the name. You see, he's a green star. So let's look at this. So obvious connections. We know that Joe is a physical therapist, and we know that he's always sick. You know them from, he's your uncle. And his journey so far is that he jumped on a friends and family call. You went ahead and sent him a Tower Garden video and pricing afterwards, and you're going to follow up with him on that next step column on a certain date. Okay, so you already write in that next step, and we'll talk about why in a second. Juicy Smith is the next one. Sorry about these names, they're random. She's a yellow relationship. So she's actually your yoga teacher, and you know that she's a busy mom because you've heard her talk about that in her class, heard her talk about her kids. You know her from Core Power Yoga, and her journey so far is that you were just able to get her to learn your name, right? You've had a couple random conversations with her after class, and she moved from that red relationship to a yellow relationship. So that's okay. I want you guys to know that that's okay. That is growing your business if you're building relationships and connecting with people. And the next step for her is you're going to invite her to the next Los Angeles event, because you wrote in those last couple columns the location where she is. So you want to send her that invite whenever the next event is coming up. Okay, last example is Prometheus the penguin. He's our mascot.
Prometheus.
Yeah, we have a fun mascot that we pass around our team, and they get very excited about it. I think they pretty much give Oscar speeches when they win it each month, and it's just this stuffed little penguin. But he does come with gift cards.
He does. So. He likes to play with gift cards.
Yes, so fun. So obvious connections with Prometheus. Nothing, because you don't know yet. He's a red relationship. You haven't talked to him since kindergarten, and his journey so far, you have no idea because you haven't really started it yet. But the next step is already filled in. So as you're filling this out, I want you to go ahead and fill in those next steps so that you know what you're doing. You're getting a plan when they're fresh in your mind. As you're thinking about the connections that you have with them, where you know them from, you're already in that mindset. So just go ahead and write down, how are you going to move forward with this relationship? Well, for Prometheus, you just want to send him a Facebook message because you don't even have his phone number anymore. And you just need to say, hey, haven't seen you in forever. How's it going? What's new? Your family pictures look beautiful. Something really nice that just starts that conversation. So I hope that makes sense. And then you go through and you star, all the people on there that need Juice Plus the most. So the third step of this is bringing your memory jogger to life. And we want you to think about 3 different components of this. The first one is asking questions. The second one is identifying connections. And the third one is inviting to learn more. Okay, so ask questions, identify connections, invite to learn more. So we're going to just do a little example of this for you guys really quick about, can you just pretend to be someone who's like, maybe just out of yoga class?
Yes.
Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm great.
Jake just came out of yoga class. So I'm going, hey Jake, how was class?
It's great. My downward dog was really rough today.
Nice. I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been?
I was traveling with my kids, actually.
Where did you go?
We went to Disneyland. We want to go to Disney World, but a little tight right now. So.
I'm sorry. You still have fun going back.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Except Joni, Julius, and Jones just kept getting sick the entire time.
Okay. Let's stop right there. Okay, so if you were listening to this, how many connections did you identify just then? And I wish I was in a live audience right now so I could ask you, but I can't. So I'll tell you. If I was talking to Jake just now after yoga, I would have picked up on a few different things. I would have picked up on the fact that he's at yoga, so cares about his health, cares about his wealth. Not wealth, just health. Okay. He also can't afford to go to Disney World, so had to go to Disneyland, so he's tight for money. I learned that he has kids. I don't know whether he's married or not yet from that conversation, but I know that he's pretty much leading this. He's, making things happen. And then what was the other thing that I
that my
kids are sick all the time.
My kids are sick all the time, and my downward dog is really sore.
Well, that doesn't happen. I don't know if you can make the connection to Juice Plus, but his kids are sick all the time. Of course.
Inflammation.
Okay, so 4 things, or more than that, but mainly 4 big things that we picked up on just from me asking questions. Mm-hmm. And so those of you who are listening, I hope you noticed, my questions were really short and brief. I just kept the conversation going. And what's so fun about this is that Jake walked away from that conversation in the yoga studio going like,
yeah,
wow,
she's really interesting. That's cool.
She's a nice girl. Like, yeah. I got to talk about myself. Like, people love talking about themselves. So if you're really interested in them, you're going to find out so much about them, and they're just going to feel really good about their conversation with you. So that's how you start that. Ask questions, identify connections, and then the third step is to invite them to learn more. Okay, so here's some goals with this. When you're talking to, let's say Jake was a green relationship. So good friend of mine, I already knew him from college or something. And so if I got to that conversation and he told me all of this information, I would immediately say, oh my gosh, like, have you heard of Juice Plus? You need to get your kids on Juice Plus. And by the way, there's a business behind this. You need to come to one of our events or jump on a Zoom call and learn. So, it might be something that can really help your family. You can go to Disney World instead of Disneyland. I'm going to be way more upfront and real with them and try and find a chance just to tell my story, or at least get it out there in the open so that we can find another time to talk more about it if he's interested. So that's with the green relationships. The yellow relationships, you got to be a little more careful, right? Because they're still not in that green light, go, category. So I would possibly just invite him to learn more on a 3-way call or at an event. So I'd use the verbiage that we're going to share with you at the very end to do that, mm-hmm. Right? And I might, through one of those connections, I might say like, well, so sorry your kids have been sick all the time. Like, that's what I do, like, for a living. Like, I help families make sure their kids don't get sick. Like, would you be open to learning more about that? See what he says. He was a red relationship, and I have literally never talked to him before in my life, and I had just learned his name right then. Then my only priority is getting his number or getting connected with him on social media so that I can continue this relationship rather than it just ending right there. So that's my main thing. Now, I'm not thinking about that the whole time. You don't want to just listen to respond. You're listening to listen so that you can actually take in all of the connections that he's identifying for you. But you're actually making sure that he doesn't run off and say, you know what, here, let's just stay connected. Like, I see you all the time. Like, sounds like we might have some things in common. Like, are you on Facebook? Or just say something to get connected with them. Okay, so I hope that makes sense.
Sweet.
All right, so Jake's going to teach you how to actually work this logistically, yes. From a technical standpoint.
This is my part. Okay, so download Google Drive. It is the time. We're in the 21st century. Get a Gmail account. Get Google Drive. It is the best. You can take it with you wherever you go. These sheets pop up in the Google Sheets app. So Google will prompt you for all these once you download Google Drive. But what we do is you're going to download this sheet from Mission Driven Mom. You're going to then upload it to Google Drive. And there's ways that you can share it with your upline. We won't get into that now, but it's a very good tool. And now that it is in your Google Drive or your cloud that goes with you wherever you go, as long as you have your cell phone with you, a smartphone, you will be able to access your memory jogger. When you're on an airplane and you want to pull it up, you can pull it up. You can make some notes. And the minute you hit Wi-Fi or get internet access again or whatever your data is, it will automatically update that to your Google Drive. So you have a memory jogger that is with you, rain or shine. There's no excuse. Now's the time.
And if you didn't understand any of that, text, don't call, text someone who's under the age of 25.
Text
and
they
will help you out. Okay. I promise. Okay. So when you're looking at this, I want you to really focus on a couple things. I want you to understand that, yes, we're adding new people to your memory jogger, but I also want you to add current customers, past customers, anybody that might be on hold right now or might have canceled. Because all of us know that even if they say no at any point in this, it's just a not yet. People come back all the time. So your job is to build that relationship with them. And then inactive team as well, great people to add to this because you want to keep that relationship going with them and keep track of where they are because it's all about timing. So something drastically might change in their life in the next year and they're going to be ready for this. And if you've kept that relationship, you're going to be the first one they think of. Okay. I also want you to really focus on the next step column on here because I promise you, those of you who are sitting here looking going, oh my gosh, this is like so like way too organized for me. Like I don't have time for this. Like I just need I'll write it down on a piece of paper or I just won't do it. I promise you that if you take the time to do this, spend a couple hours, getting it started and then maybe 15 minutes a day, for the next month. Keep doing that too. Keep adding to it. 15 minutes a day, add to your memory jogger, update your memory jogger. You will be so much more efficient with your time because if you have 15 minutes, and I know any busy moms, busy professionals, busy dads on the line can vouch for this. If you have 15 minutes to reach out and you have 15 minutes to grow your business, I guarantee you the first 12 minutes are wasted by you sitting there wondering, what should I do?
What should I do now?
What should I do now? I really want to grow a business. So you're going to kind of scroll through, some websites, maybe put in virtual office, and then maybe you'll remember, oh yeah, that was that girl I needed to call. And then you have 3 minutes left. And even if she picks up, you can't even have a conversation with her. So I promise that if you do this, you'll go right to that next step and you can be so efficient going through there saying, okay, I'm supposed to do this. Done. You move that next step to the journey so far and you create a new next step. So if you're going to send them a video that's on your next step to-do list, then you're going to make sure you move that over, say, okay, I sent them a video and now the new next step is going to be to follow up with them. You can put a date on it. They said they could watch it on Wednesday. I'm going to call them on Wednesday evening and follow up with them on that. Okay. So it's very organized in that sense. And then I like to put, the orders of when my customers are shipping as well, just so that next step is built in there and I can kind of scroll through and look at dates. Excel is super cool, or the Google Sheets app is cool because you can search for anything. So you can even search for dates on there, ship dates to make sure you're not missing people as well, and just kind of keep both going between the virtual office and this. That might be a little too much for those of you. My mom is probably laughing at me right now because we're the opposite when it comes to this stuff. Okay. And then the last thing I would say with this is we like to spotlight certain things. So Jake's going to kind of explain to me what this does.
So you can put an A for take action now, heart for the dream team, star means needs JP the most. And then you can click a button to organize your list. You can hit the top A, and then you can sort the list by alphabetical, or you can just search these things individually and they can sort it out.
Right, because sometimes people have, thousands of people on their memory jogger, and we want you to get to that point because it's a process. So we're just turning them from red to green over and over again. The A's, being able to prioritize that, it might look like, you say, all right, these 10 people I'm going to focus on this week. Maybe that's all you can handle. You're really just doing this in stolen moments. Those of you that are really moving forward faster, you can, pick 50 people that you want to get through in a week and do 10 a day, for 5 days and make that happen. So it just is up to you. So asking questions, identifying connections, inviting to learn more. You're never stuck with this system. So get that out of your head. If you feel like I'm stuck, I don't know anybody, or I don't know what to do, or
not talking.
Yeah, you're never stuck anymore. Okay. So you're just going to continue to add people. You're going to go out using all of Jake's tips and meet new people. You're going to turn your memory jogger green. That's the main goal. So even if you don't add any more people and you still have red and yellow relationships, just go get to know those people better. That's still moving your business forward. in our book. And this arrow works all ways, you know. So if you ask someone questions, you identify some connections, and you invite them to learn more, invite them to an event, and they say, no, I can't come to that event, or they say they're going to come and they don't come, then you go right back to the middle. So you got to look at what other connections that they have to this, maybe try a different route, you know, invite them to a different call or something that piques their interest. And if they say, oh, yeah, can't make that, you go right back to identify connections. Once you're out of connections, you just ask more questions and you start right back. So it's kind of more like a slider. That's why the arrows are going both ways. Okay, tell us about this.
So invite to JP story focused events. These big story things are really popular right now, and because people respond to stories. You know, they remember that one NMD story. They remember what that person said at that one event. So look for these story groups or create these events that are based around stories. Three-way Zooms or meetings. There's the magical power of threes for some reason. As long as you get somebody else on that phone call, it just kind of takes the pressure off of everybody. And then educational community events. The Healthy Living Revolution Live are awesome tools that we have at our fingertips. This Healthy Living Revolution, it works so hard to get this rolling. So use what they have. And then use your people instincts. The people with the highest social IQ are the best in this business. You know, sometimes you don't know whether the door of Juice Plus is the door that they're going to go in, but maybe they're really interested in growing a tower garden. Maybe they need to just get a protein, you know, some smoothie in their superfood smoothie, get some complete in their life. Or maybe they really need to get a business. They're hurt for cash. And this company is so amazing by offering multiple doors that people can walk through. So use that social IQ.
Yeah, just listen to them. You don't want to invite someone to a Tower Garden event who is really interested in, you know, something else. You just want to make sure you're matching that up. And obviously, all of you guys know on the line, I'm sure there's lots of different really cool things to get involved in. So check with your team and see what kind of events they're doing. And, you know, if they're...
All right, guys. Thanks, Karen, for stopping the video. So couple things that I wanted to just kind of shout out after watching the training. I think probably for my 5th time. I swear I pick up something new every time I watch it. But a couple things that I think really resonate with me, and I'm hoping that you picked up on as well. The first being that in using this stoplight jogger, it really helps you to bring your memory jogger to life. So it's not just jotting all their names down and creating a list, but rather keeping that list active and in motion and updating it. I actually even added a column to mine that says next planned follow-up. And that even lets me filter it even faster as I'm doing my follow-ups to go, okay, these are people I said I was going to follow up with in a month. Here's those dates. These are people I've got set for the new year. I can, you know, search for that date and pull those guys up all at the same time. So it really allows you to keep it active and interactive. Another piece I love with it is an extremely valuable coaching tool. So if you are doing one-on-ones with your upline, you know, even all the way up to your upline NMD, totally review this with them. The more experienced your upline is in having conversations and kind of figuring out really what those touch points are for those people, what those connections are for people. Sometimes that can be hard when you first start out, and really figuring out, well, where does this fit in? But if you can tell your upline a little bit about those people who are on your memory jogger, I guarantee you they can help you make those connections as to what to then talk with them about from there. And very, very valuable coaching tool, especially, you know, if you feel like, oh, I have no one left to talk to. I've approached everybody. Well, if you've got this memory jogger right in your back pocket to show that to your upline, then they can help you build and really come up with a solution to needing to talk to more people. A couple other things that I wrote down is to use the list for a mission-driven model. So they talked about that there is also in the memory jogger training section that list where it gives you categories of people to think of absolutely valuable if you feel like you are kind of running out of people. I love that they say not to prejudge. Don't prejudge, especially if you still have really close family and friends left on your list. Stop prejudging, because that's what you're doing. If you're not reaching out to them, you are prejudging their response to you, and stop. Because who are you to say what their response is going to be? Who are you to prejudge how they're going to accept your mission and your heart in terms of wanting to care more about their health? I love that they talked about asking questions. Absolutely. Our core piece around how to get started, asking questions, then figuring out the connection from there, and then inviting to our events. And 100% agree that it helps to drive efficiency into your business. And until I really started using this, I would 100% agree, totally losing valuable time to trying to remember who I was following up with, scrolling through Facebook Messenger to look for those connections and those contacts. And in really using it, can blast through 15 to 20 follow-ups in the same time it probably would have taken me to do 3 before, and trying to just scroll through and find where I had left off. So absolutely valuable in that sense. One other thing that I did want to add in terms of the events that we're inviting into. So they gave some really great ideas in terms of those events that they shared at the end. And we would totally agree. We want to leverage all of the different media that we have available. So the different calls from Healthy Living Revolution, the live events that may be in your area, our webinars that we have as a full team from time to time, but then also the new Freedom Revolution calls, and being able to present both the product and the business at the same time using that script is absolutely brilliant, makes it completely duplicatable, and it makes it look like someone just new coming on board could feel comfortable doing it as well, which is absolutely amazing. And then even Facebook, when we think about our Facebook parties, when we think about our Freedom Revolution Facebook group in terms of getting to hear all those inspirational business stories, 100% totally agree to be able to leverage each and every one of those. And then as they were sharing, those three-way calls. Those three-way calls are so valuable in terms of getting that additional validation. If there's people on your list that you're afraid to talk to, you're not sure what they're going to think, get them on the call with somebody from your upline, because then that will take the pressure off of you. You don't have to be the expert, and you can just love on them. Just love on them and ask them if they would be open to connecting with somebody on your team. So totally hope you gained and gleaned some value from the call tonight. And we'll go ahead and stop the recording. And if anybody has any questions, I can field those from here. I know it was a little bit longer of a call than usual, but we definitely wanted you guys to get to absorb as much of the great information on the Spotlight Memory Jogger as possible.